hello, and welcome to another episode of the Lume.
Plotters.
Martin, how are
Yes.
you? What are you wearing?
I'm wearing this nice blue shirt with some blue trousers.
Oversharing. No. Don't want to know.
I thought that's what you wanted to know.
No, that I can see.
No, but it does give a theme. I have a blue shirt and blue trousers, as the Brits say, right? In America, we say pants, which apparently means underwear in jolly old England. But to match, I am wearing my Speedy. It is Tuesday, so it's Speedy Tuesday.
Okay.
And I have it on a navy blue NATO strap
Right.
from Miltat, which is strap code, I believe, right?
Not from our friend Adrian. Bark and check.
No.
Why not?
And there's a reason for that.
You don't
First
like
and
the
foremost,
seat belt, no?
I don't like seatbelt NATOs. I have this, it's not a phobia, but it's like when I touch the seatbelt material, I'm like, ugh, I'm grossed out by it. That's the first thing. It's too soft, I guess. I don't know, it's too slimy. But the big issue that I have with Mr. Adrian from Bark and Jack is he's a nice guy. I like him. He's very nice. But the branding. There's no need to put Bark and Jack on your keepers for the NATO. I want my NATOs and every strap that I have to be absolutely unsigned, right? I want them blank.
Okay.
I'm not advertising for anyone else.
But Hodinky does
if you
it.
put Bark and Jack, no, they don't. Hodinky doesn't. On any of my straps, nothing is written. Hodinky did this at the very, very, very beginning, where they would sign their buckles.
Yes, I have
And
one.
then around 2017, they stopped doing this, and they haven't done it since.
It shows you
So
how
now
old
everything is on side.
how old my strap must have been then.
Well, they started selling straps in like 2013.
Right.
So the first round had this signed buckle, and then now.
Yeah, I remember that. And
And the funny thing is, I had that too. No, I had this too, and then guess what? I changed it to an unsigned strap, or I put it back on the original. The only signed straps I want would be from the watch company itself, right? Which I'm okay with. If you wanted to switch back,
No, I know what you mean. I think sometimes it's a bit odd to have a different branding on your watch, but on the other hand, it's usually so small, nobody sees it, right?
yeah, it's just annoying. I don't like it. Momentum. I used to buy a lot of straps from Momentum and DIFC.
Yeah.
And they used to also be unmarked, and then they started marking them. And now their NATO keepers say Momentum on it.
Yeah. Well,
Not my style. Anyway, what about you?
yeah, I'm wearing my Pelagos 39 again on my Jubilee strap. I have changed back from the rubber strap. And I must say, I like the rubber strap once it's on my watch, the original one that comes
This
with
is
it.
the rubber that came with it?
Yeah, the one that came
Okay.
with it. But I realized of how fiddly it is actually to get it in through the keepers and stuff. I don't know if it is so sticky that it doesn't really want to go in. And it's
Yeah.
it was so hard to
I
get
know.
it in and out. And I thought, wow, this is weird. Especially like when-
I maintain that they should have had the buckle. They should have done it in such a way that you are able to then put your buckle itself onto the rubber, like the new black base. And then I thought it would have been fantastic.
yeah, problem is then you need to cut it, right? So
Who cares? It's your watch. Cut it.
yeah, I know. But I think it's I like pin buckles in general, but in this case, it just doesn't slide in and out. And I thought, did I do something wrong? Did I wash it wrongly with the, or is it just sticky? And I thought maybe I should
I
put
think
some
it's
talcum
sticky.
powder on it or something like.
It could be. It
I
could be,
have no
but
idea.
you want it sticky so it doesn't slide around, right? That's what makes it grip.
I don't know. Not in this part there. Yeah. Anyhow, I put it back on my Jubilee strap from Uncle Straps, and I'm very happy about it. I really wore it a lot in recent times. I think I do
it's a
this
good combination.
because I'm thinking about getting the new Black Bay monochrome, and I'm thinking makes no sense to have both because they look really very similar to each
Similar.
other. And I think, no, I have the Pelagos 39. I don't need the other one. So, yeah.
Well,
I think
might I
spent
suggest?
my money on my new camera.
I
I still have decided that I still need the new camera. So rather than
I still maintain that you should get the monochrome. I think it would look fantastic on you. I highly, highly recommend that you sell your Pelagos 39 very cheaply to me, and then and then you can buy a monochrome for yourself.
Sure. I see.
I would take it. I would. I would be interested. Yes. As long as it's a good deal. I mean, we had one on the auction and it went for 10 or 11, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
And I was thinking to myself, that's not bad.
No, I mean, the new ones, they are costing 18,000 in dirhams. It's getting quite high.
And they lose
right?
8K, almost 50%. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Which is,
I think that's the problem. And that's actually getting into the topic of today, because there's two things, right? There's the big topic is precious metal or gold that we want to cover today. And the other topic we want to cover today is the watch industry sliding slowly into a complete crisis in meltdown mode. And that even has touched a few nerves at Rolex. And I wanted to let you know, let's start with that. And then we go into the gold topic because it's naturally coming from the whole data that we are looking at. So the Rolex CEO has given an interview, and that's being publicized by Bloomberg, but he has initially given this interview to the new NZZ, which is the Neue Zürcher Zeitung, so a German-speaking newspaper from Zurich, and a Swiss newspaper, obviously. And yeah, he has given one of these extremely rare interviews. Usually the Rolex CEO doesn't talk to the press at all. He doesn't give interviews. We remember Joe Thompson. He had interviewed the Rolex CEO at some stage, I think once or twice, but that's the only person I can remember who ever had. It's like the audience with the Pope, right? I mean, it's rare. It doesn't happen. Yeah, it is. So he felt compelled to speak to the newspaper ahead of the Watches and Wonders and said, "I don't like it when people compare watches with stocks. This sends the wrong message and is dangerous." So he doesn't like that because, there's now certain stock trackers. I think the Financial Times has a small, what is it called? Luxury, I don't know, watches fund or tracker that they track the 50 most important watch models and their prices and all of this stuff. It's like a stock ticker, right? Yeah,
it is. I agree. I think it is. Yeah. Stupid.
But he said, wait, he said it was everything soared in the last 2 years, boosted by low interest rates, soaring cryptocurrency and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people bought these watches for investments. And now we have the problems with, general economy, inflation, raw materials getting more expensive, and so on and so on. So it's really dropping a lot recently. And he said that the slowdown will hit the sales of smaller brands the hardest. He said the pendulum is now swinging in the other direction, and it's naturally more pronounced for the less established brands. And he said, while they may have seen a 20% increase in sales during the upswing, they may now experience a 15% decline. And
15, 1.5 or 50?
1.5. He says that like they may now. But if you do math, if you take 100, you add 20%, it's 120. If you deduct 15% from that, you're back at 102. So it means basically that they end up
But this I don't entirely agree with this. I think right now there was an uptick in smaller brands because a lot of people couldn't get the big brands they wanted. Correct. Therefore, that was a huge uptick. But as soon as you give people back the opportunity to buy Rolexes, Pateks, etc., whatever, I think these smaller brands are going to be hit much, much harder because now people aren't going to be spending their money on Glacute and buying a CQ. But no, I'm thinking this is not going to be a 15% hit. I'm thinking it's going to be a percent hit.
I think so too. But let's go through the rest of it. He said for the big brands, the fluctuations are smaller. And he said watchmakers tend to overproduce during good times, and when markets weaken, retailers come under pressure to cut prices. Okay, that wasn't a quote. That's from the article. And he said then, this is now a quote, "This is extremely problematic because discounts damage emotional products like ours," Dufour said, Jean-Frédéric Dufour. So the Rolex boss said the strong value of the Swiss franc against other currencies is also adding to pressures on the industry, as is the rising cost of raw materials such as gold. The increased interest rates are also affecting people's spending mood, and the geopolitical situation isn't helping either, he said. So that's the end of it. That's the end of the quotes. That's all we got. But I think you're absolutely right with your assessment saying smaller brands have the biggest problems. And I see it in that way a bit. If you have cash flow issues as a small brand, but not necessarily issues, but now you might have issues because now you have stock sitting at retailers and you have new stock coming and you want to push it to the retailers, but the retailers have enough in stock, so they just don't take it, right? There you go. You have an issue. So what do? You encourage your retailers to say, like, get rid of your old stock so you can take the new stock because I need to continue paying salaries, continue to buy products and raw materials and make watches. So get rid of your stock. And how do you do that? You have to entice customers. Discounts. So I think we already see this. We have our own retailers here, some of them owned by big conglomerates, where we can see 20%, 15%, 25%, 30% discounts already at certain brands. So I want to emphasize this with the watch industry statistics that are officially coming from the Federation of the Swiss Watch Industry. And they are publishing every month the numbers of the exports of Swiss watch exports. And they're updated monthly. And this month, they updated the numbers for March. It's always a bit lagging, right? It's lagging a month or two when they release the numbers. And so they have given a nice summary. It's a PDF, 1 page, and it has a couple of graphs and a couple of text on it. And its headline is Sharp Monthly Decline. Swiss watchmaking in March 2024. So it says Swiss watch records recorded a sharp decline in March. Their value fell by 16.1% compared to March 2023. And this is the value. If you look at units, it's worse because then it's actually a change of minus 25%, a quarter less. That is big for an industry, right?
That is big.
And now we look at the main markets. I don't want to bore with too many numbers, but there's 4 important tables here and graphs. One is the main markets. USA is the strongest market, minus 6.5%. Japan is now the second strongest market. It was China for a while, but now Japan is the second strongest market with only minus 3.5%. Third strongest market is China. It was the second strongest market, but it's now third again because it had seen a decline of 41.5% in March in exports. And Hong Kong, minus 44%, Singapore, minus 15%, UK, minus 13%, and so on and so on. Really big. I think there's Israel, Turkey, Taiwan, and South Korea have seen a small uptick out of the top 30, but that's it. Everything else has gone down and down by a lot, right? So that hurts. Then
wait. Let's get into so Israel saw an uptick.
Yes, by like 3% or something in exports. Who knows? It's in March.
This is very strange because in the middle of a quote unquote global crisis, maybe
they're
buying more watches.
Maybe people spend their money in something more tangible, something that you can move around easier. Who knows? Who knows what this is?
It could be.
But my point is that's little improvements. That's just like whatever, plus 3%. So it's small fluctuations. But the idea is that there's a few markets that grew a bit, but by very, very tiny margins.
What about our market? Anything?
Yeah, just a second. I need to look at the total value. Let me see here. I think I have this as well. Yeah, UAE has shrunk by 3.6%. We're the eighth biggest market after Germany. Germany also minus 13%. France minus 12%.
I don't get how, when you say this, when we say UAE versus Germany, for some reason, I do not see when I'm in Germany that people are rushing out to get Rolexes or just Swiss watches in general. It's very strange to me that, here where we say, in the UAE, everybody buys something.
Yeah, but you have 83 million people in Germany.
Yeah. I often do forget the sheer size of it. So that could be it. And here we only have 10 million, right?
10 times the size and the same, basically the same market size.
So if we were to look at per capita, obviously UAE would still be ahead.
And it's also I mean, it's tourism and all of other things, right? Who buys in the UAE? A lot of watches are exported to the UAE and then further exported into the Middle Eastern region. But there's also Bahrain has seen a minus 50%. But
50?
Yeah, 50. But they have in 2023, they had 19.1 million Swiss francs export value. Again, these are export values. That is not the retail value, right? So it's the wholesale value, basically. But yeah, India, I forgot India, has seen an uptick of 9%, but they're now at 20 million Swiss francs export value in March this year. So that's, as a comparison, the UAE market is 5 times bigger than India.
Yeah, which India is a huge country in comparison.
And has a lot of rich people, right? It's just like, maybe they're not buying necessarily in India. Who knows?
Once again, if we were to look at this number per capita, India would be way down. But the UAE would be pretty high, I think. So,
but
anyway.
Point is there, markets are down. And if pause. Yeah, so these are the numbers. And wait a second. And now we're going by price categories, which is also very interesting. We have they are categorizing, for whatever reason, the watches between below 200 Swiss francs, which is I don't know the absolute numbers. I think these are not in my list here, but in value. So we have seen in value these watches under 200 Swiss francs have dropped by 22%. 22% in units, 19% in value. Then the watches between 200 Swiss francs and 500 Swiss francs, again, export value. So watches that cost between 300, 400 to 1,000 Swiss francs, minus 20% in shipments and minus 18% in value. And then the biggest chunk, minus 41 or 42% in shipments and 40% in value, between 500 and 3,000 Swiss francs. So that's everything up to, let's say, 5,000, 6,000 Swiss francs. So 18,000, 20,000, up to 20,000 dirhams. And that is shocking a bit, right? There is a big, big drop. Everything above 3,000 Swiss francs wholesale value has seen a drop of only 10% in value and 16% in numbers. But you can see the higher priced, the lower the drop, right? So it affects the lower priced watches the most and the mid-priced
So
watches.
essentially, this is exactly what we're going to talk about today. Correct. Is gold, because we're assuming these higher priced watches are gold and precious metals. But basically what this means, and this is always what it means, when people have disposable income to buy watches, the lower income tiers will always be the first to
stop anything,
to stop buying.
Yes.
And then the rich people will always continue to buy because they don't really...
Not too affected.
They're not affected. Yeah. Exactly. And this is what we've seen historically. If you go back all the way to the Great Depression, you see this. There were people that were unaffected entirely because they were extremely well off.
For sure. And now we can actually look at the wristwatches by material because we have the numbers here too. So precious metals, it's not differentiated by which precious metals. So that must be silver, platinum, gold, all of these things. But but whatever is categorized as precious metals, I don't know exactly. So they have
Anything with this Swiss stamp on it.
Yeah, so they have, when you look at the units, it's 31,000 units have been so exported in March, of a total of 1,150. 1,150,000. 31,000 of these were gold. A change of minus 20% in volume and minus 11% in value. Sorry, change in volume 19%, change in value 11%. Steel has seen the lowest drop, the second highest drop. Sorry, 23% in volume and 28% in value. Gold and steel mix is doing well comparatively, with only minus 6.5% in value. Let's only look at the value for now. And then there's other metals, plus 8%. So for whatever reason, in the value, carbon, titanium, these kind of things, aluminium,
ceramic,
they have gone up. Not in volume, but in value. They have gone up. In volume, they have shrank by 20%, but in value, they have gone up. Maybe Rolex has shipped out a lot of their titanium Yachtmaster 42. Who knows?
I think there could be that there is just more ceramic being sold. There's more titanium.
But this is other metals. Wait a second. This is other metals. There's also another category called other materials, and that's where your carbon comes in, which is 280,000 watches, right? Which is.
But how would we know? Wouldn't we say?
But this is also probably plastic as well. Yeah. That is minus 3%.
I would say other materials would be ceramic. Is ceramic a metal?
No.
No. But I would say carbon is.
No, carbon is not a metal.
Carbon is a substitute for metal.
Yeah, but it's not metal.
Yeah, but it's very similar in terms of properties. Okay, fine. I'll give it to you.
It's baked.
Yes, it is.
Carbon.
It is. And it's put together. It's not forged.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so
fine.
Overall, we still have the drop there. And if you look at the 12-month moving average, you can see a steady decline. I mean, it's so steady and with a slight exponential going downhill now in the last 3 months, January, February, March. So the growth is bad. It's not good, right? So we can see that this comment from Jean-Frédéric Dufour is real, right? There is, he said the watch industry will have a very difficult 2024. No, sorry, he said not very difficult, a difficult. Dufour says he was the CEO of Rolex since 2015, and he said he expects 2024 to be a difficult year for the Swiss watch industry as demand slows from the peak. So as you said, and let's now talk about gold. I have 2 gold watches in my collection, and I don't know, probably it's my age, why I'm more inclined of buying gold watches. One reason was, I think to a certain extent, that gold watches were also getting more affordable comparatively.
Yes, the bang for buck. Okay, we'll go exactly pre-owned. Yes, the new ones, the prices continue to go up. But when you tell me that I could buy something gold for the price of a stainless steel used watch,
yes,
that is a big deal. For instance, there was time when a stainless steel Submariner, for instance, was going for more than a two-tone.
Yes.
And that is crazy.
It's still the case. My Guinness GMT Master 2 is probably in the pre-owned market. Huh?
You don't have a Guinness. The Gurner?
The Gurner. Okay. The Gurner.
Is it called a Guinness?
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so.
I was thinking root beer. Sorry. No, yeah. It is called a Guinness.
So the Guinness is trading like for retail, maybe a slight premium, but take a Pepsi and it's more expensive.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any bit of sense, but
it's demand.
And there was times that I look at I remember the stainless steel date justs were through the roof.
Yes.
And you could essentially buy a solid gold day date for the same price.
Yeah,
and that is
totally.
you did buy one for the same
yeah.
price, essentially.
My wife traded in 2 of her watches for a solid gold day date, and it's just insane when you look at the price and how this watch looks on the wrist. You think, I can't believe
How much?
I
yeah,
got
exactly.
it for the
bang
price
for buck.
than like less than a Submariner, right?
Yeah.
I think
And this still goes
What?
to show, when you say 100K for that platinum, I know we're talking about gold, but the platinum Rolex 1908
Yeah,
is 120K.
yeah, 124.
And you look
23,
at like Daytona prices.
yeah.
It's crazy. Stainless
It-
Daytona prices.
It is indeed, and I think there's, I don't know, gold has become a bit more accepted as a watch material, I think.
No, I not just accept it. I think preferred amongst the true collectors. So, for instance, let me just say, I was listening to the podcast with Ben Kleiman recently, and he said specifically that he remembers, and this shows you, kind of, if we look at it historically, right, gold watches have always been a sign of retirement, a sign of maturation, a sign of aging, a sign of accomplishment. So Ben Clymer said that he used to never buy gold watches. He said, I had no interest in gold watches. For me, it was always stainless steel.
Yeah.
And then, apparently, he decided that he was mature. At the age of 40, he said, yes, when I turned 40, I got myself a gold day date. And I'm looking at it like, I'm 40 next year. Like, no, I'm not going to get myself a day date. I still look at myself like I'm not quite there yet. But of course, I will want at some point a day date. I feel not quite yet. But the point of my story is he said afterwards, he didn't really wear gold. He didn't feel that he was kind of a gold guy. But afterwards, he said it just changed him. And he said now he doesn't buy anything that is stainless steel anymore. He said essentially it's all gold. So that to me kind of says that, yes, gold is a sign of maturation, not just in age, but also in your collecting. If we look at the types of watches we're talking about, stainless steel is generally kind of the entry level. They're not going to have supremely complicated Pateks in stainless steel, right?
Yeah.
If you want these crazy complications, if you want the quote unquote grown up watches, you have to go into gold. There is no other way. And this goes almost for every single brand, that most of these watches are going to be gold as opposed to steel.
Yeah. I think,
with a few exceptions, obviously.
I think you're right, and I think the value of we have here the exports of Swiss watches by material. I think I have it monthly from January 2023 until March 2024, and you see that the exports are usually in May, June the highest, strangely enough, and then September, October, November, and then they drop again. I mean, in November 2023, it was 926 million Swiss francs, so nearly $1 billion worth of, again, wholesale value. So that must be retail value at probably about double that. So $1.52 billion in 1 month, if you think about it, got exported from Switzerland in November. That had dropped now to 700,000, right? So, which is again, it's like 700 million. Yes, 700 million. Sorry, I have to do some mental.
You've lost me, by the way. These numbers are in one ear, out the other.
Yeah,
drifting off.
So what I'm saying is, you have had in like the highest export, monthly export of gold watches. It went up basically from the old times. It went from, in the year 2000, they exported like 2.6 billion, right, worth of gold watches. The Swiss watch industry as a whole, 2.6 billion. In 2023, it was 10 billion. So in 23 years, that times 5,
Okay.
times 4. Sorry.
Okay. There is, of course, two things that we need to mention here. This is not two-tone, right? This is just pure gold or pure precious metals.
Yeah.
We need to obviously touch upon two-tone as well, because two-tone was super cool back in the 70s, 80s, going into the early 90s. Then it became very much uncool. Nobody wore it. And then somehow recently, within the last 5-10 years, it became cool again, right? And so this is the other thing is, yes, there is no cyclical nature for stainless steel. There is no cyclical nature for solid gold. It's really funny to me that the only time the cyclical nature happens is with two-tone. And it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I think there's two-tone has a bit of it's an acquired taste.
Stigma.
I like it. I think two-tone.
You have cool. A couple, right?
One.
You had before the multiple.
I had the Omega Seamaster in two-tone, and I had the...
You want me to list your two tones? You had the Omega Seamaster, you had the Explorer one, you have the Gurner, and you had the...
Sky Dweller.
Didn't you have the GMT? The Tudor GMT?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I had the Tudor GMT in two-tone. And I had the Sky Dweller. But now I'm back to one.
You're a two-tone guy.
Yeah, I'm a two-tone guy. I don't have problems admitting this. I am the pimp. I am the two-tone guy.
For me, there is one quintessential TT watch.
And drive a Jaguar.
For me, I think that the quintessential TT watch is and always will be the Datejust 36 with the fluted bezel. The what was the movie? American Psycho.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, which is funny. Didn't he wear,
Bateman,
by the way,
Bateman?
Jason Bateman?
I don't know.
I think
Bateman.
Is that what it was? But the point of the story is, if you knew this or you didn't know this, no, Jason Bateman is the actor from what's it called? What's that show that everybody likes about him? The Arrested Development. Patrick Bateman, right? Patrick Bateman, that was it. Anyway, point of the story is, if I remember correctly, they did not have the budget for a two-tone Datejust in that movie. And he wore a two-tone Seiko lookalike.
Yeah, very often it is the prop masters of these movies. They have to source these things. They contact sometimes jewelers and brands, and they give or lend or don't lend watches to them, and they have to return them most of the time, obviously. But sometimes they also just do fakes.
Yeah, they could do that as well.
They do that
as long as it's never in a shot really closely. You
so
can get away with it.
It's a bit sad to see that, and sometimes even the actors are taking their own watches with them. That happens as well.
Yeah, so that's also very true. If you look at any movie with what's his face, what's the guy who directed Titanic, James Cameron, right? James Cameron will always put Rolexes in his movies, generally subs, which is kind of funny. Because of course he is a Rolex sponsored guy as well.
Yes,
so if he can slip one in, he will. Just like the guy that directed Interstellar, whose name I have also forgotten, always does the Hamilton thing.
But Hamilton sponsors movies a lot.
They did. They sponsored that one. They sponsored the next one. The one with the guy who goes backwards in time or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember. But he makes these super weird.
But wasn't
Tenet was the name.
And then Man in Black with the.
Yes, also Hamilton. So quite a few Hamilton movies.
Dune.
I was just about to say Dune. I tried watching Dune. By the way, I couldn't do it.
What? It's amazing.
I couldn't do it.
It's amazing.
I got 30 minutes in, and I was like, the first one.
Yeah. Really cool.
but I couldn't do it.
But I'm a big Dune fan. I've watched all of the old movies, the old versions of Dune. I didn't read the books. I was always fascinated by the movies, but it's an interesting world. I probably have to read the books at some stage.
I think it was too much world building and complication for my head to handle.
Yeah,
Although now, this is a random aside, but going from there, for those of you that haven't seen, now we're watching a show on Netflix called The Three Body Problem.
Yes.
Which is very similar to the kind of like the Dune premise, which is also one of these crazy mental exercises. Is it possible? Is it not? So I recommend that as well.
Yeah, I have to watch it. It's on my list. Yeah, so coming back to watches, I think Two Tone also has a bit of a. There's two things I have. I'm a bit here schizophrenic with this, but I think that Two Tone was a bit forced upon us, especially by brands like Rolex, who said, "Okay, we can sell as many steel watches as we want, but we can't produce more." They were at the limit of their production, right?
Yes,
we can say that they sold everything they made. So now, how do they make more money? Either they raise the prices or they sell you more expensive shit. So naturally, they try to push everything with precious metals where you have a higher price. So you have the two-tone, you have the full precious metal, you have the diamonds, all of this stuff. There is a huge gap between the wholesale price and the sales price, just because a bit of gold is sprinkled in or a few diamonds are put on a dial. And that is where they can increase their profit margin and increase their revenue by a lot with the same amount of shipments. And that's why I think they pushed these. They said, okay, we are not producing more stainless steel. We are producing maybe even a bit less of stainless steel, but we are producing more precious metal, and they will be available to sell. So people will eventually buy them because they have no choice. There's nothing else
which
to
is
buy.
the whole thing that happened, right? This is what we were seeing. Is you wouldn't see any stainless steel, but you would see two-tone and gold.
And it's the same.
That's kind of the idea.
And it's the same now. And I like two-tone, but I can understand that some people just bought the two-tone because it was the only thing available. And if they had the choice, they would have opted for
Didn't you do this with the Explorer 1?
No, I did buy the Explorer 1, yes.
Yeah, but you did it because that's what was there.
Yeah. And I thought, well, it's a nice watch. I liked it.
But if the other one, if the stainless steel was there, would you have bought that instead?
No.
You would have always gone for the two-tone.
Because I thought, at that time, I also thought, I can see how I like the watch and then sell it maybe at some stage on with a profit if I don't like it anymore. Because that was the time where everything went up, except that watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the one time I thought I'll do something for investment, it bit me in the backside. Yeah.
Yes, which I stopped doing that.
Yeah. In any case,
I know everything I buy, I will lose money on. It's just a given.
Yeah. It's a good mental thing to do, to say, okay, if I buy a watch, it just drops 30-40% in value. If I buy it for retail price at the boutique, which is what it is now, right? I mean, what can you do? I mean, you buy a Breitling, that's it. If you don't get a discount, well,
you'll never sell it again.
Nobody will want it.
You're stuck with it for life.
No, that's
all right.
not
No. Now we're off topic. Yeah. Let's get back again to gold. So obviously, gold has this idea of companies selling gold or shipping gold products for the simple reason that they make more money off of it.
Yes.
It's very clear they are trying to make them as novelties now as well, because people caught onto their tricks. And this is exactly what I saw when I saw the new Deep Sea in yellow gold.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's clearly they're pushing something out. They want it to be a cash grab. They want it to be a hyped watch, which obviously it's not going to be. But I don't know who's going to buy it.
Well, yeah, exactly. What's the target market? I think this is really like...
It's going to be 300-kilo men who are also drug dealers. There's like a circle.
Drug dealers, weapon dealers, shady characters around
over 300 kilos, over 200 kilos, let's say, because at the same time, right, these guys, you have to be a big guy to wear that watch.
Yeah,
it's strange to me that they did that.
This is the weirdest thing is it is already a slow seller. The Deep Sea is not a big seller for Rolex, right? It's not a watch
It's
that
for during COVID. This was one of the few watches that was almost always still available in
correct.
stainless
If you
steel,
want that,
and no one wanted
you
it.
can get it within a week or two. Really, you just have
Or it
it.
was sitting there. I've had it sitting there quite a bit. And now, by the way, this whole idea of things not being available seems to be going a little bit away. I mentioned this to you yesterday. I went to the Rolex boutique. Just I always go in and I always look to see if there's anything nice. The guy, I asked stainless steel. He said we have one stainless steel watch. It was a gray dial, rhodium dial DJ41. Smooth bezel with the oyster bracelet, which is
nice.
You like that one. I know you like that one.
Yeah, I would prefer the black, but rhodium
everything
also
else
nice. Yeah.
was two-tone or full gold. But what really did catch my eye, which I didn't have the money for, I think $175K it cost, was the white gold Panda Daytona. Silver dial, black sub dials. That one, he said, basically they marked it as display only, but essentially he said that they would sell it to the right person. It's not on hold for anyone, essentially.
To the right person. Yeah.
Well, this is how I bought the Explorer 40 as well. Remember, it was marked as display only, and I said, is this for sale? And the guy said, for you, yeah.
So this white gold with a black dial, right? White gold Daytona?
No, white gold with silver dial.
Silver. Okay, yeah, that's
and black sub dial. It's a good one.
It's a nice one. I would like the black one a bit more, but
no. I think this silver with the Panda. This is a proper looking Panda. Anyway, point of story is he told me essentially that at least here in Elaine, he said we rarely are selling any of these gold watches here. Remember, in Islam, it is haram for the men to wear gold.
Yes.
So I was picking at this idea a little bit because I said, well, most of the watches are two-tone and gold. And he said, yeah. So they either don't buy anything from us or they wait. And I said, what about white gold bezels on Datejusts? And he said, they don't care about that.
Yeah,
said,
because it's more functional. It's not white gold in general is a bit more. It's less haram, I would say.
No. He's saying though. I was saying the gold bezels only.
I know, but
because
general,
technically you're not supposed to. So if you asked Khalid from Timepiece 360, he even said, technically speaking, you could argue that the hands on the Rolex, which are white gold, are haram as well, and the indices.
You could. But then again,
you could argue that, but you could also on the flip side argue because apparently the thing was you cannot wear gold unless it's functional. You cannot wear gold for decoration. This is
up to interpretation depending on who your religious scholar is you follow. But yeah, functional, it prevents a staining of the hands. So you can either rhodium plate them or you can white gold, make them out of white gold. So they stay.
It's also corrosion resistant, right?
Stay the way they are. And it should not be as vanity, right? I think wearing gold as a vanity is the problem. It's not the material per se. It's the outward showing of this gold. So I think if I'm interpreting that.
And once again, guys, if you happen to know more about this, tell us
on
Instagram, message us or comment, and we're happy to educate the masses with what you educate us with, right? This is what we've heard. Don't take us as gospel.
That's why I think that white gold can, to a certain extent, get through some people say, okay, I don't consider this like gold really as like the yellow gold that is ostentatious and vanity inducing. Because
I'm assuming let's also go back to in time when these quote unquote rules came about. I don't think they had white gold. They weren't making white gold yet.
Yeah.
So they were only making yellow gold. So yellow gold is technically the gold that is referred to, right?
Yeah.
For vanity, because you see the yellow metal, you know it's gold. But at the same time, we could argue is let's get into that in a moment as well. Our opinions about gold substitutes. Because there are a lot of PVD coated watches. I'm thinking Tissot PRX and these that look like they are gold, but are not.
Yeah, gold plated watches.
But you would only wear
always.
them for the exact same reason that you would wear a gold watch for, is the bling factor,
Yes.
right?
Yes, you like the looks. Exactly.
But so would that be more haram? Because now it's not gold, but you want it to look like gold.
It actually is gold. It's just microns of gold, right? Very, very few.
No. Those are PVD coated.
Yeah.
They have nothing to do with gold.
No, they do. Gold plated is gold plated. It's real gold, but it's
not gold plated. I'm talking about the what's it called? The Tissot PRXs, which are painted gold.
No, that's gold.
Those are not gold plated.
It's gold plated. I think so.
No, it is not.
No?
No, it is not.
Is it only colored?
It's just colored. Yes, of course. It has nothing to do with gold.
I thought that it is gold plated.
PVD is what does PVD stand for?
Pulverized vapor deposition.
Exactly. So it has nothing. They can make that any color because they make it black.
It's if you use gold and you pulverize it. I mean, look, you can put gold on it. It doesn't matter because the gold value of a PVD coated watch, it's probably not even whatever, €2, €3, $5. That's it. Not even
Really,
because it's
so.
micro,
But you're
so
thinking
little.
that this is actual gold.
Yeah. I mean, you have gold in so many things. You have gold in computers. You know, we have so many solder joints made of gold and all of this stuff.
You have gold in the McLaren F1. You remember that? The entire engine bay was lined in gold because it was such a good insulator.
Yeah.
Anyway, point of story is, okay, then it might be gold. Then it would be haram as well. But anyway, the point of the story is...
see here. It says here, wait. The material of the case is 316L stainless steel case with yellow gold PVD plating. That's the Tissot for you.
Okay.
It's
all
real
right.
gold.
So you proved me wrong.
But it's just microns. It's so little that it really is not, it's like a color.
Even worth anything.
Yeah, no, not worth anything. It's not even a gram. It's not even half a gram. It's milli thousands of grams that you use for one watch. So it's really very little.
Well, we can also get into this. There are multiple levels of gold plating as well. There is as we just discussed, the apparently PVD coated where it's nothing, right?
Yes.
Then you get into gold plating, which you would put a few microns thick of actual gold on top of a stainless steel watch, right? Then we can get into gold. I believe it's called gold vermeil.
No wrapping.
Which is what Cartier used to do, which is a much thicker layer of gold.
It's gold.
And then we get into what Tudor's doing, which is called gold cap.
Cap, yeah.
Which is a very thick chunk of gold over a stainless steel core.
I think about one, depending on what watch you are talking about, 1 to 2 millimeters or so. Or even 3 millimeters.
So
I think
gold plating.
Mine was. You could actually see this if you bent one of these links. You could actually see on the holes how much there was the gold capping. So that means it was about 1 millimeter of gold all around the links, for example. And that means, I mean, the bezel was solid gold, but everything else was capped.
All right, I have the numbers. Okay, here's the numbers.
Yeah, I've measured my own watch.
So, gold plating is 0.25 microns.
And the human hair is by contrast.
We go up to gold vermeil, which is what Cartier used to use back in the 80s, 90s, which is 2.5 microns, which is 5 times thicker than gold plating.
Yeah.
And then we get to Cartier, Tudor, which is 0.1 millimeter for the crown and 0.2 millimeters for the links.
0.2 millimeters
is what they consider their gold So it is what is so 0.5, so 2.5 microns divided by 1,000 is 0.0025. This is vermeil, mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If my math is correct here, right? Micron is 1,000 less than millimeter.
I don't know. Micron is.
And then 0.1 for yours would be a huge jump up, even if it was. So yeah, it is a big chunk, a sizable chunk in each time.
Yep. So my Rolex two-tone is real.
40 times more, by the way. So it's a 40 jump from. So remember, gold plating, then 5 times gold plating is called vermeil, and then roughly from this calculation, 40 times vermeil is gold cap.
Yeah. Gold
but it's still
cap.
nothing.
It's still not much.
It's still nothing.
No. So, do you have? I can quickly send you a picture on WhatsApp. It's a pretty cool day. I can only do that there. You can see actually my own thing there. Let me just see. Where's Martin? So here you go, Martin. That's the image, and you can then see how that actually looks. That is the amount of the wrapped gold. And you can put this on the show notes so people can see that of my two-tone, Tudor two-tone.
I will put
GMT
this on the quote-unquote show notes, which was just our Instagram posts.
Exactly.
But yes, that is a very good picture. That's very nice. Yeah. They say that it is not solid gold, by the way.
What, the gold they use?
Yeah. People said there's no solid gold in this. It's still not considered solid gold.
It's 750. So this gold is in any case, if you...
No, not that. I'm saying in the sense that I think there has to be, in order to use the term solid gold, you have to have a thickness range, maybe. I don't know. Okay. Because this is just so thin still that they can't call it solid gold.
No. Because it's... Well, whatever it is.
Not like two-tone, which is technically solid gold and stainless steel mix.
Yeah. In any case. So yeah, this is gold for you. And then the next question is, what do you prefer? Yellow gold or pink gold? Or rose gold?
We didn't even get into this, by the way. Gold is not gold. Gold is whatever a company wants gold to be, depending on how they mix it. And we know Rolex, Omega, and all of these companies have their own gold, and they have their own gold colors. So for instance, Cartier just calls it pink gold and yellow gold.
Yeah.
Omega calls it moonshine gold, and
they have their own alloys, right? They have the same alloys, because gold always is not 100% pure gold, because it would be too soft and it would be not very resistant to any other things. I mean, it is resistant to elements.
So if I'm not mistaken, moonshine gold is their yellow gold, Omega's yellow gold.
Yes,
and then Sedna gold is their rose
that's what I
gold.
had, yeah. Sedna gold. I love that. It's a nice.
That's rose right?
Gold, yeah.
Then Rolex, what do they call it?
Rolesor is their two-tone, and I think they call their gold. They have a name for it, as of course
they have a name for it. Everrose gold is their pink gold, and yellow gold is yellow gold, right? So
yellow gold is just yellow gold, which is surprising for Rolex that they haven't.
And white gold is also white gold.
Yeah.
All right. So in this case, if I have to choose between pink/rose or yellow, I'm going to go yellow. And you?
It depends. It depends on the company and how they mix it. Because I feel, for example, that the Everrose from Rolex is very pink, while the yellow gold from Rolex is already quite darkish, pinkish. I like that yellow gold from Rolex in the two-tone variants in my Skydweller and now my Guinness. This other companies use pink gold that is similar to the tone of the yellow gold from Rolex. So
Yeah.
you can see sometimes, and that's why I say it depends. Sometimes you have yellow gold and it looks really very yellowish, and that looks cheap. I don't like that. I don't like that yellow
What about the
gold.
Tudor? What about the Tudor Black Bay gold?
No, that was rose
That
gold.
and it's matte on top of
Yeah,
it.
but that was rose gold, right? I think.
No, it was yellow.
No.
It was yellow gold.
Really? I thought it was actually
Yeah, the
considered.
full gold, 18 karat gold.
Yeah.
Tudor Black
Yes,
Bay.
yes,
That
that's
is yellow.
true.
And I thought that was a cheap
I thought
looking
my two-tone. Yeah, that's very yellowish, and then I don't like that. Yeah, not so much.
I have no interest in gold aside from yellow gold. I prefer just the classic definition of gold.
Yeah, no, I really like the two-tone gold of my GMT, the steel. It was yellow gold as well, the Black Bay GMT SNG. But I do feel it was also like the general yellow gold from Rolex, a bit on the darker side. So I liked it.
But at the end of the day, I prefer over everything white gold.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is my preference. However, if I were to go and buy a day date, I would buy it in yellow gold.
Mm.
That would be one of the times that I would say, sure, yeah, yellow gold is the right color. But other watches on a watch band, I would go for white gold, I think.
Yeah. Again, I really like usually the rose gold versions a bit more, but if they're too pinkish, I don't like them. So I like this darker, richer gold. I don't like this pinkish gold, right? So
I agree. Yeah.
So my Blancpain and my Glashütte, I think they're both considered rose gold, but they are just very dark yellow gold in my mind. So, which I like. That's why I think they're really cool.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else
regarding
I think gold?
We have completely covered that topic, and we have figured out that the watch industry, Swiss watch industry, is sliding into a bit of a crisis. Let's see. On the 30th of May is only the day when we get the new numbers for April. So we have to wait a long time until the end of next month to get April numbers. Don't know why that takes so long for April, but it seems to be because of the whole Watches and Wonders and whatever. I don't know. They just take a bit longer to get the official data from customs and all of the stuff. But then we know if it is a continuous downward trend after Watches and Wonders still, or during the April, that they still exported less, which then of course means we can get more watches in the end.
Yeah, so let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope, because it'd be nice. It'd be nice.
It would be a nice change.
It would. Anyway, all right. So what's your next gold purchase? We'll leave it with that.
I have two. Chopard LUC. Okay. You can buy a Chopard LUC in gold for the price of a Tudor Black Bay if you're looking around and negotiate a bit, which is also insane. LUC gold case, obviously not a gold bracelet. It's a leather strap, but you can get that watch with a micro rotor movement and so on. Fantastic watch for the same price as a new Tudor. Yeah, so that's one. And the other one is the 1815 A. Söhne that I still like, the 40 millimeter version from 2014, 2015 or something like that. Not so many floating around, so I'm still waiting for the one that screams my name. Let's see.
Yeah. For me, as I said, I don't think I will get into gold until a day date.
Until you reach the wise age of mine. So
I think this is a hurdle for me to get into gold. I haven't done it. I don't plan to do it. And one day I will get the day date.
I hate to say it,
floodgates will open.
In your age, I was also not thinking about gold.
No, I like gold. It's been creeping up on me, which is funny because I used to hate gold and anything gold. It has been creeping up on me, and I've been in the last 5 years really looking at the day date. There's been a few times that I thought to myself, should I sell something and buy a day date?
Oh.
But at the end of the day, there's nothing that I want to sell. So I think the day date will have to come later. And in addition,
Yeah, yes, it is what it is, right? So I can see you eventually with a golden watch.
of course, I could see myself with a gold watch as well, but not yet. I think the problem is a lot of the time I would think to myself, am I going to wear this to work? No. I work in a very plain environment at the university where, the men don't wear any watches almost. 90% of them don't have watches. Um, I don't think anyone has anything that I would, there's one guy that has a Tag Heuer Aqua Racer, which he bought because I had the same watch and he liked it. So he went out and bought the same watch. So that was cool. But everyone else, I mean, this is the either no watch or smartwatch era, I think.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
I recently had a business meeting, one of the few meetings where I actually had to go out the office recently, and that was really cool. So I was wearing my Vacheron Constantin, and I had somebody across the table, an IT guy, and he's like, wow, this is a nice watch. And so we swapped around. He had a Explorer 2, but the old model with the drilled lugs. And so he was also a bit of a watch nut. So we had a nice conversation there. But it was, everybody else was just had no idea about what we were talking about.
And this is what I feel 99.9% of the time.
Yeah.
No one knows what they're talking about, or no one knows what they're looking at. But I think if I came in with a gold watch, they would be like, what the hell? I'm 20 years younger than the other youngest person, I would say, in my college. So it's tough.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
On that bombshell.
Cool. Let us know what you think about gold watches. Are you going to get one?
Yes. And are you excited for the future of maybe having more availability on watches?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. And soon we will know more.
Let's see what happens.
Alrighty.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.